107.1 FM, the voice of the Dandenongs, and No Sausage Music plays on the Friday Breakfast Lounge Limited Edition. And we've got on the telephone right now, in fact, Blaise van Hecke, the publisher and also editor of Self-Made, Real Australian Business Stories. And good morning to you, Blaise.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good.
And I really thought your book, Self-Made, Real Australian Business Stories, was a great little book.
Yeah, it's great. It's a pocket book, so you can carry it around with you everywhere, and I think it's got some fantastic tips for anyone who's wanting to start up or anyone who might be struggling in business, because all of these people have learnt the hard way. So they've sort of written their story in the hope that it saves people other people time and money.
I found the thing that really grabbed me about the book was I thought it was well written.
Yeah.
And it was quite direct.
Yeah.
There didn't appear to be any verbose sort of statements. And it was written in a simple way where you could be on the train or sitting at home thinking to yourself, I just feel like a quick read of something, and you can pick it up and it'd engage you. And
yeah, it's definitely a dip in and dip out kind of book.
Yeah. But it holds your attention. And for me, the theme throughout the book from the 8 business people who are in there, and they're all small businessmen as opposed to people who are multi-millionaires or billionaires, is that I suppose the strongest theme was love what you're doing and it'll happen.
Yes, you just have to keep, because it is the first couple of years especially are very hard.
Yeah.
And that's why so many businesses fold after about 2 years. You have to get over that first hurdle.
Yes.
So if you don't like what you're doing, that makes it very hard.
Yeah, well, one of the common comments throughout there is if some people think that if you're working for yourself, you don't work as hard.
Yeah.
But the reality is you tend to work longer hours and more intense. But because you enjoy what you're doing, it's not work.
That's right. It doesn't feel like work at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the story behind yourself? Can you tell us a little bit about Busybird? Busybird, I should say.
Busybird, yeah. We've been in business for coming up to 17 years, but we actually decided started off in design, and then about 6 years ago, I went back to school to learn publishing, and I absolutely loved it. So we've steered the business in that direction, and we really haven't looked back. Because of digital technology, publishing a book is so much easier than it used to be.
Yep.
Yeah. You used to have 30,000 to publish a book, and now you can do it for a few thousand.
Yeah, well, publishing's not an easy thing to do. There's a lot of risks with it.
Yes, it is.
And with what you've published here with Self-Made, Real Australian Business Stories, it's for me, it's a book that would do well or should do well because of the size of it, the low cost, and the fact that you've got a good size font.
Yeah.
And it's just what's inside the book is a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, when they buy into businesses, they're not really aware of what's involved.
No. Now, a lot of people might say, I'm really good at, say, building websites.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make you a good business person.
Yeah.
So that's what you need to actually learn how to run a business, because otherwise it doesn't matter how good you are at something. If you don't know how to balance books and employ people and all that kind of stuff, you're going to fall over.
Yeah, and a lot of the people that are in the book talk about how they've worked for other people for a period of time, and they've obviously done well, but then they just feel that they've got to get out and do their own thing.
Yeah.
And they make mistakes, and at the same time, and this is the thing I like about your book, they are people who have made mistakes, and they've learned from them, and they've grown and become quite successful in their own way.
Yep, and that's why we thought that the book is useful, because it's going to save other people those mistakes that we've all made, hopefully. Yep. And they're all, everyday normal people, just like, yourself or your next door neighbour. We're not, no one's especially fantastic or famous or anything like that.
Yeah, and that's what I liked about your book. I mean, we didn't have people that are in the papers every day, I sort of related to the fact that these people that were in there were people who'd been successful in, say, the insurance industry.
Yes. Yep.
And in your case, in the publishing.
Yep.
And it just made you feel that you were on the same level.
Yep.
And what they were telling you were important things that could help you yourself.
Definitely. Yep.
And in terms of you putting together Self-Made Real Australian Business Stories, how long would it have taken you to put that together, the book, from where to go?
About 6 months.
Okay.
Well, by the time I had everyone write their chapter,
yep.
and then we obviously, I have an editor who edited it.
Yeah.
And, there was a bit of backwards and forwards between the editor and the writer.
Yes.
To make it, that's why it's so well written.
Yeah.
And nice and easy to read. We wanted it to be very conversational.
Yeah.
And, and then there's the production of putting the actual book together and getting it printed. Yeah.
And is there any of the people that are in your book, is there any one of them that perhaps strikes you as being more engaging than the others?
I think the person who comes across as very passionate is Justin Benkhauser, who is the top lock. He's a very entrepreneurial person, and he left school very early, so he always felt like, he was lacking in education and that people would view him differently because he wasn't educated, or he felt dumb in his words.
Yes.
But he comes across so passionately about what he does, and he has so many fantastic ideas in his business that no one can ignore him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And from your own point of view, or from the overall feeling you get having put the book together, what would say be the three main things that people who set out to run their own business, what are the three things that they have to have going for them?
I would say hard work.
Yeah.
Find out how to run a business. If you don't know how to do it, get people to help you.
Yep.
And, realise that the first couple of years are going to be very hard, and you might feel like you're not getting anywhere, and then suddenly you will turn a corner.
Yeah.
And you'll realise that it's all going to be good.
So I suppose it's about persistence, and the thing you mentioned about ask questions, that's a theme that is through the book too from the other 7 business people. They've said that, in fact, one of them made comment about the fact that he should have asked questions and sought advice before he did things, because if he had have done that in the first place, he probably would have saved himself a lot of money and a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
And in terms of Self-Made Real Australian Business Stories, where can we get copies of that?
It's in all good bookstores.
Yes.
Or it can be purchased from our website, which is www.busybird.com.au.
Yep. And Busybird, I like the title. How did you get that?
I don't even remember. It's a little bit of my personality. And it just fits.
Yeah, it's a good little title. But and have you got other publications?
Yes, we have lots of great publications. I also have a book called The Book Book, 12 Steps to Successful Publishing. Because I'm finding that a lot of small business owners are publishing a book to help them grow their business. And that really, it is like an ultimate business card. And we have other books. We have books like health books and other business books as well.
Okay. And you've been good enough to donate to us a couple of copies of this to give away to some callers. Is that right?
Yes.
So thank you for that.
That's okay.
So we'll pass on their details when they ring during the break.
Yep.
But the Self-Made Real Australian Business Stories, as you say, it's available on your website and also at all the shops.
Yep.
So that's excellent. And look, we look forward to hearing more about your book and the work that you're doing. And thanks for putting out a really valuable book. I think it's a really good book.
That's great. Thank you.
And thank you. So We've been talking to Blaise van Hecke, and the book is Self-Made Real Australian Business Stories, published by Busybird. And 59682727 is the phone number if you want to get a free copy of that book. Thanks very much, Blaise.
Thank you, Peter.